Welcome to the handover video for your Knaus Boxstar 600. We'll start on the outside of the vehicle, starting here at the fuel fill point, where you'll find both the diesel and the AdBlue fill points. For the diesel, take the vehicle key. There's only two keys with this vehicle. One key does everything Fiat and the other one does everything Knaus. So there you hang your cap while you fill with diesel. The AdBlue, there is no gauge on the dashboard for the AdBlue. All you'll get is a warning light when the AdBlue is running low. The vehicle will come to you with more than enough AdBlue in it. When that warning light comes on, you then have in the region of 12 to 1500 miles before the vehicle will slow down and go into limp mode. So inside the passenger door, while we're here, I can show you how the blinds work. The side window blinds pinch and then the paper blinds are released. They travel along a bar just inside this frame. So just slide it down with your hands and then they click into place. They're held in place by magnets, and the similar one on the driver's door, when not in use, just slide them back and click them into place. They are made out of paper, but they are quite robust, but treat them gently, they'll last a lifetime. To pop the bonnet, and we'll take you in a minute under the bonnet and show you the various fill points under the bonnet. Underneath here you'll also find your vehicle battery. Now it's difficult to access the vehicle battery when it's under there, so there is an additional point in under the bonnet for jump starting should that ever be required. While I'm here, I'll also show you the operation of the seats. To raise the seat up and down, when you pull this lever here, the front of the seat will rise on springs, and similarly with the back end here. Using your body weight sitting in the seat, release like that, and then using your body weight when you're sitting in the seat will make the seat move up and down in a seesaw manner to adjust the height. I'll show you how to spin the seats from here. I can actually show you. You'll see that lever there. When you pull that lever, the seat will rotate. When we're inside the vehicle, I'll show you how that actually operates. Right, let's move under the bonnet. After you've released the bonnet initially in the cab, there's a secondary release lever underneath the bonnet which will allow you to plug the stay in and keep the bonnet in the upright position. In this corner of the vehicle you'll find your washer bottle refiller. That's the only one that you're likely to need access to certainly in the early years of ownership of this vehicle. Here we have the brake fluid, coolant, and over here is the power steering fluid. The tops of those bottles are all accessible by undoing these clips here and removing this section of plastic cowling. Oil filler cap is there, dipstick is down here, and as I said earlier on, the battery is underneath the floor compartment, and to access it if you were ever going to jump start is quite difficult. So Fiat have supplied you with remote pads. Place your key in there, which releases that flap. Lift that flap and there you'll see a paddle. Connect the positive terminal of your jump leads there and connect the negative terminal to that bolt there, and you can jump start your vehicle or offer a jump start to somebody else that may need that assistance from you. Staying on the near side of the vehicle, this is the exhaust flume for the gas operation of your boiler. Never obstruct that. If you do, the sensor inside there will sense the blockage and will cut out the boiler and your boiler will not operate. You might notice that that flume is underneath the window, and for that reason there is a safety catch. You can just see it through the glass there. You'll see it when you're inside the vehicle. If this window is not closed and the little plunger switch on there is not depressed by the window being closed, the boiler will not operate. Otherwise fumes could rise and come into the cab there. Down here is the grey water tank draining pipe and the valve handle. Turn the valve through 45 degrees, the valve will open and the water will drain from your grey tank. Here is the hatch for the toilet cassette, the Knaus key, which does all things Knaus, as I said earlier on. Pop in there, unlock, and up she goes. There are magnets that will hold it in place, and this gives you access to your toilet cassette, which pulls out here. When you come to collect your vehicle, there will be a blue cap that's been placed on there. It's currently stored inside the van. When your cassette is full, you take it out of your van and take it to the chemical disposal point. Take the cap off, turn that round, and using this blue button here to release the air pressure, you can then empty the contents of your cassette into the waste disposal point. After you have done that, any chemicals that you may be using go down here. Never put chemicals down the toilet bowl, it'll stain the plastic. Add about 1 litre to 1.5 litres of water to dilute and start the chemical process. Put the cap back on and then return the cassette until the blue lever clicks back home. Towards the rear of the offside of the vehicle, you'll find your electric hookup point. When you are connecting to the mains, it's always important that you connect the van first. So connect the van first and then connect to the electrical point and switch the power on at the hookup post at the campsite. Moving around to the rear of your vehicle, here is the bike rack. The bike rack operates quite easily, it just pulls down. There are straps, you will see here, that will go round the pole. At the moment they're just sitting in, but they go round that pole to hold it in place. Your bike wheels sit into the clamps, and then these bars come across and grab either the post beneath the saddle or the crossbar if it's a gentleman's bike, and hold your bike in place. Above the door, built into the high level rear brake light, you'll find your reversing camera. Inside the rear of the vehicle, the first thing you'll find is the gas locker. Room for 2 6-kilo propane bottles. This model is actually fitted with a drive safe gas pipe or pigtail to supply gas to the system. You turn this brass lever here on by turning it anti-clockwise. Once you have opened the valve anti-clockwise, press this safety button here, hold it down for the count of 5, that's the drive safe regulator section, release, and you now have gas going to both the boiler and the cooker. You can drive with the gas left on, however some people do prefer to be belt and braces and switch it off. Every time you switch it off, though, do remember to press that black button or you won't get a supply of gas going back into the vehicle. While we're under here, I'll also show you where the drain tap is for the fresh water tank. Located in the rear of the vehicle, and in behind here you'll find the drain tap for the fresh water tank. Winter drain down procedure is to open the grey water tank, that's the outside grey valve. The inside red valve will drain the fresh water tank. There is another valve which you open, which is located just beside the kitchen. When you open this valve, it will drain all the water from the pipes that have been leading up to the taps. And there's one last valve to open, and that is on the boiler. It's the frost protection valve, which also is the valve for draining water out of the boiler for winter storage. And while we're in the rear garage of the vehicle, I'll show you inside this cupboard. You'll find the Ledger batteries. In this case, a pair of AGM leisure batteries as requested. Well, we have the back door of the vehicle open. It's an excellent opportunity to show you where your USB charging points are in the base of your gooseneck reading lights, which I'll demonstrate when we're inside and switch the control panel on. On the off side of the vehicle at the rear, you'll find the water fill point. Again, it's the Knaus key, not the Fiat key that you use for that. Simply insert, unlock and remove. Just an ordinary hose pipe in there will fill up the water. When the tank is full, as well as it registering full on the gauge, there is an overflow pipe and you will see water pouring out down below, and it will also backfill out of the filler opening there. The last thing to show you on this side of the vehicle is your step. This is the electric step for entrance to the vehicle, the switch for which is down here. Having switched on the gas at the gas bottle and making sure that the isolator valves are all open, the isolator valves are stowed underneath the dinette seats. How to switch on your gas cooker. Press, turn to the high position and then press the igniter button. Hold for a couple of seconds just to allow the thermocouple to heat up so that it stays on, and then do the same with the other one. Again, holding for a few seconds till the thermocouple heats up. Down to a peep, down to a peep, back up to max and off, back up to max and off. You should never close this down on the flames when they are on, and also you should make sure that this is cooled down before you close it. If you set off and start to travel, the vibration of that travelling on the road, if the heat is still in the metal surrounds of the cooker, could cause the glass to shatter. You have two control panels above the door as you enter into the van. The one on the right is more of an indicator than a control panel. You see there's a small green light here which indicates that we are plugged into mains. Then there is the on-off switch here, which the vehicle is on at the moment. Press and hold for it to go off. So, switching on. Press, everything lights up. Right, we're now operational. This switch here switches on your water pump so that your taps will operate. This switch here switches on the 12 volt supply to the lights so that the lights will operate. On the left hand side we have some level indicators. The top one indicates the condition of the battery in the habitation side. We're plugged into mains, so obviously we're getting a full charge there. This one, the same for the vehicle battery, and again we're showing about 2/3. Now when you come to collect the vehicle, it will have been on charge all night prior to collection, so you should have a full charge in each of the batteries. This button here brings up the condition of your freshwater tank. Now this little image here of the grey water tank, that will only illuminate when the grey water tank is needing emptied. Moving to the Truma control panel, this operates the hot water and the heating for the vehicle. So I'll switch it off. To switch it off, just press and hold past app and to off. Once it shows off, you can release the button and it will eventually go to sleep. You must always switch this control panel on first when powering up the vehicle. If you switch this one on first, then that one, you will get an error code here, as this requires a 12 volt feed, which we'll only get when that panel is switched on. So press the button and that will bring everything to life. There's a line along here. Everything above the line tells you what you've got operational. Everything below the line is what you can choose from. So the first flashing symbol has a thermometer inside the back of the vehicle. Let's wake it up again. Now that indicates that we are setting a heating, interior heating, hot air blown system. Press the button to move into it and then dial up the temperature you want. It's a warm day today, so we'll just leave it in the off position. Turn the dial, the water temperature symbol starts to flash. Press to enter. We've now got it set at hot. Now it's been on for a wee while at hot, so when I show you the taps you'll see steam coming off to show that it works. There are three settings. There is well, 4 if you include off, eco, which is about 40 degrees Celsius, hot, about 60 degrees Celsius, boost just heats the water up faster. It uses both electricity and gas where available to heat the water as quickly as possible. Doesn't make it any hotter. So let's go to off. Well, actually, I'll leave the water on eco because I need it on. We'll go for central heating. That's what we'll choose because that will allow me to demonstrate the fan working. So we'll set this at 10 degrees Celsius. And then we'll move along to our choice of fuel. So enter here. Now, various choices of fuel. Gas, a wee gas bottle appears up there. Mix 1, which is gas, and one little lightning bolt, I should say, and that indicates you're drawing 900 watts of energy. Mix 2, 1800 watts, because you've got 2 lightning bolts. Electric 1, 900 watts on its own. Electric 2, 1800 watts on its own. You can use 1800 watts on a modern campsite because that's going to be drawing a higher ampage than you would draw should you be on electric 2. So electric 2 high amps, electric 1 low amps. So if you're on an older campsite, go for electric 1. Doesn't make the water any hotter, it just gets there a little bit quicker. And then you have, of course, gas on its own. So we'll leave it on electric 2 as we're plugged in at the moment. Let's not waste the gas. Now, because we have put on the central heating, that little flame there indicates the central heating is running, we can go here and put on the blower, and you can choose between eco and high, and that is just the speed of the blower that will blow and circulate the warm air around the van. If you do not have the central heating switched on, so let's go and switch our central heating off, the fan then just becomes a vent. When it's off, or vent, and it will just circulate the air that is in the cabin. It's not air conditioning, it just moves the air around, which makes it a little bit more pleasant in warm weather. Down on the bottom, this flashing symbol, this allows you timers, so you can set your central heating and your hot water to come on at a fixed time. So if you're away hill walking and you're going to be back at the van by 4 o'clock and you want to have a hot shower, have the water come on at, say, 3:30. This is the clock settings, so you can set the clock to whatever time you want. So it's just gone 3 o'clock today, so we'll go 3:05. And finally, in settings, you can change temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. You can change the clock from 12 to 24 hours. You can change the language, and you can also do a factory reset if necessary. And this little back button just takes you back to where you were before. Little indicator there indicating that we are plugged into mains. So I've got nothing switched on, so there's nothing showing above the line. So let's just press and hold it. Go past app to off. Now, app is if you download the iNet Ready app onto your phone, and then it allows you to do everything that we've just done here via an app on your phone when you're sitting in the van. But I mean, you're never any more than a couple of feet away from the control panel, so it's a little bit of fun for anyone that's really into their technology. So if you have your water tank full, and if you have your tap switched on the control panel, supplying power to the taps, then the kitchen tap, which you've just seen, and now the tap inside the bathroom, which is also the shower head, comes out on a gooseneck there, will operate with a micro switch inside the tap. When you switch the tap on, then the water starts to flow. As you can see here, quite a bit of steam coming off, proving that the water's hot. On the day of your handover, we will ask you to just go through the motions of switching the taps on. We'll have heated up the water and you'll feel the water is hot, and that way you know that everything is working fine. There's a little string down behind the toilet bowl, and this string operates a valve which opens warm air from your central heating and blows it over the grey water tank to stop the grey water tank from freezing during the winter months. Your toilet bowl, it's a swivel bowl. It's hard to demonstrate with only one hand, with the other hand holding the camera, but you'll see when you come, there we go, you can spin round to give you plenty of leg room in the toilet. Down the side of the toilet there is a silver handle. Now that silver handle pulls to the side and it opens the valve inside the toilet bowl to allow waste material to fall into the cassette. To use the toilet, open the valve first, then use the toilet bowl, then rinse the toilet bowl by pressing this blue button here, and water drawn from the freshwater tank will rinse the bowl. Once that water has run away into the cassette, close the cassette. That is the cap of the toilet cassette, which I showed you earlier on. When you come to collect your vehicle, that will have been fitted, and your plugs for the sinks and the shower tray are stored in there as well. To operate your fridge, there's a simple on-off button. Press and hold till the lights go out and your fridge is off. To switch the fridge on, press the button. Again, it's a press and hold. And then the blue lights come on, your fridge is now operational. This button here toggles you between the different settings. At the moment it's on performance, but if I press this button here, it would move us on to silent, which is quite useful when you're sleeping at night because it is a compressor fridge and you can hear the compressor running. If it's a very warm day, you can switch the boost on if you notice your butter is not staying as firm as it should, and you can actually hear the fans kicking in as the compressor goes into boost mode. This button here with the wee thermometer on it adjusts the level of cooling of the fridge. The more blue lights illuminated, the colder the fridge. Normal operating position, about 3 should be more than enough. Inside the fridge there is a freezer compartment and a crisper tray at the bottom. Your boiler is located underneath the rear travelling seats in the dinette. Also down here you'll see this selection of pipework here with 2 valves. Now the water flows through this pipe to the boiler. Now you can protect your boiler by fitting a water filter in there. It's not compulsory, but if you want to do so, you close this valve, again difficult to demonstrate with just one hand, and you close that valve. Allows you to disconnect these 2 push connectors here and the filter, which will clip in to those 2 clips there. You just push this connector onto either end of the filter and then you'll have a water filter which will filter hard elements out of the water to protect the electrical element inside your boiler. Really only required if you're spending a lot of time in areas of hard water. While we're in here, hidden away from view, you see that little blue lever. That is the top of your frost protection valve. Just behind your frost protection valve, where my hand is, there is a little blue button. You can't actually see it, but you can feel it. To drain the boiler as part of the winter drain down procedure, you turn that blue valve and the water drains away. To close it, you turn it again so it's running across, and put your finger down the back and you'll feel a button. It's just here. Push the button in and your valve is reset. Also down here you'll find the isolator valves for the gas elements. The one at the top, this is the valve for supplying gas to the boiler. The one below is supplying gas to the cooker. They are currently in the on position. To put them into the off position, simply turn them through 90 degrees. That's off, and then that's back on again. Inside your wardrobe space, you'll find a little trapdoor, and inside there another valve. When you're doing your winter drain down, open that valve by turning it anti-clockwise, and that will drain the water out from the pipes that run up to the taps in both the kitchen and the bathroom. Stored in one of the cupboards you'll find this additional cushion here. That is an insert that goes between the 2 seat cushions in the dinette area. When travelling you can expand these seats just by putting your hand in here. You'll feel a spring lever, pull it and the seat opens, and it just makes the journey a little bit more comfortable for 2 adults by making the seat that bit wider. And so to the dashboard. That's your radio unit. Just turn the volume down. It is also, as well as being your radio, it's your sat-nav, entertainment, AV, digital radio, FM radio, Bluetooth wireless for your phone, and as I said, also your navigation. Just below there you'll see the air outer dial, air temperature. The further to the right the warmer it is. This lever is the fan speed. Outer dial on this side is direction of airflow and either fresh air coming in or recycled air, which is recommended to use when you are running the air conditioning. To run the air conditioning, the temperatures must be at cold. You must have the fan on and use recycled air. As I said, press the button, it goes amber, and that is you running the air conditioning. And we're now into the sat-nav. So I'll just switch that system off completely. Down below here is the cup holders. This is power takeoff points, traditional cigarette lighter style 12 volt USB. This USB is only live for charging, say, your phone while you're driving. It runs off the vehicle battery. And on the dashboard there are two leads here with USB connections on the end if you want to either play music off an MP3 player or an iPod or something through your stereo. On the side of the steering wheel, this is the cruise control. Light stock is here. Windscreen wiper is on the right hand side. Down here you'll find the controls for adjusting the headlamps up and down. Also, when you press the mode, it takes you into the trip meter on the vehicle, and using the arrows up and down you can navigate the menu of your trip meter to reset trip intervals, etc. Also on the driver's door you find the joystick for adjusting your mirrors on both sides of the vehicle, as well as the windows, passenger and driver. Deadbolt for locking the vehicle when you're inside the vehicle, and also the screen for across the windscreen. Down the side of it you'll see there's a magnetic strip. This one moves to the halfway point, and you bring the one from the other side, they meet in the middle and give you a blackout screen at the front of your cab. Well, that concludes your handover tour for your Knaus 600. It's an absolutely brilliant van, and I'm sure that you're going to get lots of miles and lots of smiles out of your usage. We're at the end of a telephone. If ever you are stuck and you can't remember what to do, but a copy of this video is available for you to download and keep to take with you. And so even if you don't have any 3G or 4G and you're unable to view it on YouTube, you can have a copy on either your phone or a tablet if you ever get stuck anywhere. As I said, we're on the end of the phone if you ever need us, so just enjoy your vehicle, and as we say here at Highland Campervans, drive, then park and relax. Enjoy your van. Thank you for choosing Highland Campervans.